Hi. This week, I would like to agree with Ben Smith's take in the article and on how communication in this film first draws attention to, then bounces off the camera, which acts as an extra character. And I think Come and See is a very clear example of that because we see the camera in very different perspectives and very different angles. I think, and it kind of allows the story to be told in a more personal level. I think, and I think and a clear example of that is when he is returning back from the village and he's searching for his family. The camera is not like at a distance from him, but it stays like close to his face, close to his body, almost, and it's like tracking him, and it feels like it gives the audience this kind of sense of like, why are we getting this point of view? You know what I mean? And I think it adds to suspense. And I think one thing that adds to that is the viewing of like others, and you see like people outside of the film, or not outside of the film, but outside of the of Floria, looking at the camera, like bystanders looking at it and interacting with it, and like side eyeing it, talking to it. You hearing conversations, and I think while conversations are being made on a more personal level, the camera bounces off people, and it allows you to feel like you're more interactive in the conversation. And then when you finally see the massacre, and when Floria is finally revealed to this, and you get to see the pure horror and the pure disdain on his face, and you get close shots up, and I think that's a very telling thing, and I think it agrees with the article readings of public memory and active recall, and how it just makes you witness war, and it doesn't allow war to be glorified or heroized. It shows you the brutal devastation that war is, and you get to see it through a close view of Floria's perspective of how unbearable war is. And I think a strong comparison with another film that we have is Boy in the World, and I think a scene that also replicates that is when the boy travels to the city to see his father, and I think that that is another clear example of you seeing innocence becoming brutalized, and you get witnessing cruelty and witnessing the real life and almost losing that. And I think in the storytelling you see it's kind of like a more childlike perspective, but then I think also important is like the animation style at the beginning is very lively, it's very colorful, but like as you get deeper within the within the city, it feels more gloomy, it feels more um, like draining, it feels more oppressive, and I think when you see too like how the camera in the film would relatively stay low to the boy's eye level, and it makes these places in the city feel like, oh, big old thing. So I think that's also a thing that relates, and I think it shows that it makes you as a viewer become witness to these things, not have to remain as like a, oh, without seeing I don't know, and it makes you see it and it makes you experience it. And then I think within these perspectives, and you get to see these angles of the camera and how the camera is able to bounce off conversations, it makes you feel it more on a more personal level of like, this is something that you feel like you're in the scene, you know what I mean? Like you feel like you're talking with Floria, or you're walking with Floria as he's going to find out this massacre, that his family's all gone, and that he's now essentially all alone in this war. You know what I mean? And then even with Boy in the World, now you see this kid who misses his father, is looking for his father, and then when he finally sees him, it's like his father's not even him. His father is just a being controlled by other people.